Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the QnA session. So in this session, Ms. Galuh will answer the question that I have collected from the comment section according to the previous video about presentation titled From Babbling to Full Sentence, How Children Acquire a Language Stage by Stage. So without any further ado, let's get started. Question is from Ms. Aulia Disha. As we all know, children must pass those stages that you have mentioned above to speak and acquire languages. In some cases, there are children who are still having difficulties in producing speech. For my question, I would like to know if there are any factors that might affect children to have difficulties in producing speech in between those stages. Let's hear the answer from Ms. Galuh.
Hi everyone, nice to meet you again. So in this section, I would like to answer some questions about the topic that we have discussed last week about from babbling to full sentence, how children acquire a language, stage by stage. Next question from Aulia Disha is about the factor that can affect how children deliver good speech. Yeah, as we know, all of the children have to pass those stages to deliver good speech. But yeah, in some cases, there are, of course, another factor that can affect how children deliver good speech. It can be a medical factor, such as the structure of their tongue, lips, and something like that, or about the environment factor. It can be about their parents, maybe it is multilingual, bilingual, or something like that. Maybe they're confused about the speech or the language. But speech has a narrow meaning that language because it refers to specifically to sound produced by the oral mechanism, including lips, tongue, vocal cords, and related structures. So, yeah, they maybe have different structure of their articulator, so it can be affect their pronunciation, their articulation, and their fluency maybe, since everyone have different vocal track that may affect how they pronounce something.
The next question will be from Mr. Alvin. He asked about what is meant by friction noises. For Ms. Galuh, time is yours.
This question from Alvin. What is meant by friction noises? So, as we know, by 2 to 4 months, infants start to produce comfort sounds such as sighs, grunts, or coos. And laughter appears when they are around 4 months old. By then, infants can engage in vocal play, producing squeals and friction noises. So what is friction? Friction is a surface-to-relative motion as of a body sliding or rolling, the rubbing of the surface of one body against that of another. And friction sounds is the sound heard on auscultation caused by the rubbing together of two opposing zero surfaces that are roughened by an inflammatory exudate. So the friction noise originates the vibrational response of the couplet solid. The sound pressure level is high and the sound is confined into a narrow frequency band. Since the friction sound is produced in the friction zone, it could be guessed that a larger friction zone produces a stronger sound.
And the next question comes from Mr. Hilal. He asked, is there any possibility that the baby can fast at learn the language? Example like baby at 6 to 8 months already capable to say a word or in the one word stage. Let's hear the answer from Mrs. Galuh.
So now I would like to answer an interesting question from Hilal Salim. Thank you for your question. Is there any possibility that the baby can fast at learn the language? Of course, yes. All of the stages that I've mentioned before is just a standardization to monitor the children progress in how they deliver a good speech. So maybe one of them can one step forward than the others, or maybe they can have speech delay, so they need um, more time to respond something. So all of the stages here cannot be something that trick you. So you cannot say that if you are in this age, you have to stay or you have to stand in this stage. No, we cannot say that because everyone has their own capability. Everyone they have their own respond. They cannot respond something based on their self. So all of the stages is back to you. It's based on you. It's based on yourself. We cannot say that it is a rules. It is a guide that if you are in this age you have to in this stage, if you are in this age and blah blah blah. No. So it's possible for a baby to say something or one step forward to deliver a good speech. It's possible. Thank you.
And finally, the last question is from Miss Mirza Ulhak. Sometimes for some babies, even though we have teach them to talk often or provide learning to speak indirectly such as listening to music, they often have difficulty to understanding it and in the end experience speech delay. What I want to ask here is why did they experience this and what are the possible ways to dealing with it? For Miss Galuh, time is yours.
Next question from Mirza. Thank you for your question. It's about speech delay and the relationship between listening and speech delay itself. So, in speech delay, a child maybe can deliver speech but not a good speech since they have late response to understand the meaning. So it means that maybe if we talk to them, they understand, but not fastly. They need more time to understand what we are talking about. But they can respond it. They can talk. They can answer. They can give response for us. But they need more time. Maybe it's more time than the other. So what causes speech delay? So there are several possibilities that can cause speech delay. First is oral impairment. Second one is oral motor problems, and the third one is hearing problems. That's why even though you already use the listening methods to improve their capability in deliver good speech, they still cannot fastly give response. Maybe they have hearing problems or motor oral problems or oral impairment. So oral impairment like problems with the tongue or palate and a short frenulum part of the vocal tract. So all of the problems can limit the tongue to move for speech production. And oral motor problems, it is a problem that makes someone hard to coordinate the lips, tongue, and jaw to produce speech, to deliver good speech. And hearing problems are also commonly related to delayed speech. It's a audiologic problem, so yeah, they cannot concern with the speech. So how to overcome a problem about delayed speech? Yeah, we can spend a lot of time communicating with your child or read to your child. We cannot um, focus on what they're talking about, what they're trying to talk, what they're trying to speak. We can focus on the aspect and use everyday situation. So you can practice their capability to deliver good speech. Yeah, thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are now at the end of this webinar episodes. Thank you for Miss Galuh for spending your time and presenting all of us such an interesting topics. And thank you for all the people who have watched and asked these brilliant questions. Miss Galuh and I hope this presentation will be useful and can lead you to expand your knowledge more about children language acquisition. Thank you once again. See you next time and have a nice day.